We're a little early this morning, so but we're on schedule with our coaches. Coach Chadwell from Charleston Southern has joined us. And, Coach, first off, good morning and congratulations on the victory at Kennesaw State to clinch the automatic bid and a share of the Big South title.
Mark, good morning. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a fun weekend for the Bucks for sure. Tough game down there, but our guys found a way to pull it out, and we're more than excited about clinching our first playoff bid. So we got a lot of work obviously to go with Liberty coming to town. Who's a good team, and our focus has been on them. But we enjoyed that weekend for sure.
And talk a little bit about the victory at Kennesaw State. You know, they had another little rally down 6-0, but a 28-point to get back into it and kind of take control of the game. And just the overall victory and the celebration at the end with the trophy.
Yeah, they did. They jumped on us there early, but I thought our guys showed a lot of poise. We came back and took control of the game and really had a couple chances to really put it away. We had some not our best game as far as penalties, so we were disappointed in that. I thought we really could have blown the game open because we really dominated them on the defensive side of the ball. I think we gave up 115 yards rushing, and the really only touchdown they got was on a little trick play there at the beginning and on a couple pass interference plays there towards the end. And then we moved the ball, relatively consistent offensively, but it was just disappointing those penalties. But we overcame that, able to get that victory there, and then just to see your team, your players accomplish something that maybe only they believed that could happen, to see the joy on their faces, to know that they've accomplished something and guarantee their chance a postseason berth. It was pretty special, and I think what it showed what we talked about. It shows that you don't have to have the best of everything to accomplish great things. If you believe in yourself and you love your teammates and you're accountable, special things can happen, and I think that's what this team is about.
All right, at this time we'll start taking questions for Charleston Southern head coach Jamey Chadwell. To ask a question, please press *1 on your phone at any time, or click the Q&A link near the top of your browser and click raise hand if you joined us via the web. And while we wait for the question queue to finish filling up, Coach, you have Liberty Saturday afternoon and your senior day home finale, regular season home finale. Just talk about the Flames of the 2015 season.
Well, they obviously got another talented team. They hit a little. They remind me of us sort of last year when they hit a little hiccup there mid-season. They lost a couple there in a row, but now they've got it turned around. They're probably playing their best football of the year. They're talented on offense with the quarterback and the receiver and the offensive line that they got, and then defensively really good up front and their front, obviously led by their All-American there. And so it's a big challenge for us. Our what's new, is we're coming into the game, obviously with coming off of last week, and maybe we've got that target on our backs for the first time in a while. How do we respond to that? Where we've always been chasing people with the targets, and now it's a little different. So we've got to have a great mentality coming in, and we know we've got a good team coming down here and still playing for a playoff bid. That's what they're trying to do if they finish out their season. So important game for us. And you mentioned our seniors. It is senior day. We'll have 15 guys that are going through their last home game here, and they've obviously been through the last 3 years of the success we've had. So they have an opportunity to go out as the all-time winningest senior class in the history of our program. So that's something pretty special as well.
All right, Coach, we'll start taking questions for you. Again, press *1 on your phone at any time, or click the Q&A link near the top of your browser and click raise hand. And, Coach, first questions for you are from Damian Sordelet of the Lynchburg News in Advance.
Jamey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
Morning. I got a chance to watch some of the Kennesaw State game before Liberty's game Saturday, and I was just impressed with the speed of your defense and just being able to attack the ball, get penetration off the line of scrimmage. What's been the key this year to having that success and being able to win the battles at the line of scrimmage and stop plays before they develop, and also on the back end, aside from trick plays, just being able to defend the pass as well as you have?
Well, I think it starts up front with your first question. We've got a great front seven, and we play up on our front line. We're obviously based out of a 3 now. We got 9 or 10 guys on the defensive line that we rotate in that we feel like contribute to our success. And what that allows us to do is we're always fresh, and so those guys are getting after the opposing offensive line, and it allows our linebackers and our secondary to really swarm to the football. One thing that we base our whole program on defense is chasing the football. We might make a mistake here and there, but we're going to make it as fast as we can, and we're going to rally to the football and try to get 11 hats in the picture every time. And so our guys have taken that mantra to swarm the football, and when we're fresh up front and we can continue to roll guys in that we feel like are quality football players, it allows those guys to be as fresh as possible, and we start wearing the opposing offense out a little bit. And then I think what we've been able to do this year, maybe more so than ever, is we've been able to get pressure just with 4, maybe 5, but mostly 4, and we've not had to bring a ton of blitzes and different looks, and that's allowed our secondary to sit back there and play some coverage and read the routes and be able to be in good positions to defend the pass. When we first started, we brought a lot of blitzes and different things, and so you put your corners and some people on the island, and we've not had to do that as much because of the talented guys up front. And when you can, when you can get some pressure with 4, you can do a lot of different things with that coverage, and our defensive guys have done a great job of mixing and showing blitz and bailing, and that's allowed us to be successful, in both phases, stopping the run and controlling the pass game.
And for the second time in 3 weeks, you're facing a senior quarterback, Ross, a couple weeks ago against Coastal, this week Josh Bodrum for Liberty. What challenges will Bodrum present that Ross didn't present, and how do your players, focus on attacking when they know there's a senior back there who doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and in reality, just making sure you get them off the field is the best way to, beat them?
Well, I don't know. He's going to bring a lot of challenges, probably similar to Ross. Ross was a little banged up in the game with his ankle, and so he wasn't quite moving around like he's capable of doing, even though he played a good game. Obviously, Josh is healthy. He runs around well, throws the ball. The thing with him is he's so big. He's hard to bring down even when you get pressure, and I think that's the biggest challenge. Is he can obviously sit back there and pick you apart, but I think he's more athletic than people give him credit for. And when he breaks out of the pocket, he's so big it's just hard to bring him down with one guy. And then the thing that he does, because he's being a senior, being in the offense so long, there's nothing that you can throw at him that gets him off kilter. He's seen every different look, he's seen every different front, and so he's going to make sure they're in the right play and he's going to the right person with the ball. So I think our challenge is, can we, you mentioned about getting him off the field, can we make them one-dimensional, hopefully, where they can't, run the football. Hopefully we're taking that away, and then try our best to put as much pressure on him in the passing game. If they are able to, run it, play action, and do some different things, they're as good as anybody offensively that we've seen this year because of the type of skill people they have. So that's our challenge as a defense, and what he brings to it is he's just so multiple. He can beat you with throwing and passing. So that's what we've worked on hard so far, trying to figure out the best way to handle that.
How dynamic has Darius Hammond been for you, not only in the running game but also in the return game? He had a few returns that were called back because of penalties against Kennesaw State, but he has the ability to find that seam in a return game and break one deep. And how valuable has he been, not only in the offense that you run, but also in that return game?
Darius is probably our most complete football player. You talked about what he does run the football and the returns, but he also catches the ball out of the backfield. He's done a lot of big catches on 3rd and 4th down and touchdowns out of the backfield. So he's a complete football player. And what makes him, I think, special and tough is everybody will tell you if you watch him, he doesn't look like he's that fast or he looks like he's that quick. He just has a great knack for finding a hole, finding a seam, and making somebody miss. That's what makes him special in the return game. One person is not going to tackle him out in the open. And in Kennesaw, he had a heck of a game. We had a couple penalties that called some big plays back, including a touchdown that would have really just blown the game wide open. And he's done that all year. He's done that really in the return game every year that he's been here. He's made big plays on special teams. And this year, I think more people are taking notice because he's getting more carries in the backfield. But we had a good idea what we knew or what he was capable to do because we've been seeing it for a couple of years. He was just sitting behind a good one for a while. And but he's a special player, and you're going to continue to see him. I don't know if people are going to kick to him now, but you're going to continue to see him get more and more opportunities to make some plays because just the way what he does with the ball in his hands.
How much did last year's win in Lynchburg really atone for what happened a couple years ago in Charleston? Really give your team some confidence that you can beat a team like Liberty and build on that as you go into this week's game?
Well, I don't know if it atoned for it. It obviously we were more embarrassed by the way Liberty came down here and got after us and really just dominated. And so inside, we always felt like we belonged in a game like that, or we could win a game like that. But until we did it, you always had that in the back of your mind: are you good enough? And I think what that game did is it proved that we can go to a top 15 place or top 10, whatever they were at that time, at their place and win a big game on the road. And I think that gave us confidence going into the off season that, hey, we feel like we're as good as anybody in this league. If we can, because we had beaten the Coastal, the 2 years before, and if we can go up there and win on the road in a hostile environment, that has given us confidence for the year that we've had this year. And I think that was a big part of it, that we don't feel like we have to take a backseat to anybody. We can win those games where we belong to be in those big games. So it was a lot of confidence. It was good to, finally, we hadn't won up there, I think, since 2000 and hadn't beat Liberty since 2005. So just to get that sort of monkey off your back, that was the big part of it. Just, everybody talks about it constantly. And none of our guys were here ever had to deal with that. They always had to hear it, and so just to be able to wipe that clean, I think was more than anything was what was good for our team to know they can go. They don't have to live in the past. Let's talk about the future and move forward.
All right, Jamey, I appreciate it. Thank you for the time.
Thank you for the questions.
Thank you, Damian. And, Coach, next questions for you are from David Shelton of the Charleston Post and Courier. Go ahead, David.
Morning, Jamey.
David, good morning.
Hey, you touched on this at the top of the call, but I just wanted to get you to expand a little bit on this senior class. They went through 0 and 11 before you got there, and you didn't recruit any of these guys. And there's a couple of 6-year guys in this mix, and there's about 7 or 8 that are really key contributors in the games on Saturday. I mean, all of them are contributors, but talk about their just how special it is for them to be playing their last game and having won a conference championship after what they kind of went through before you got there.
Well, obviously, unfortunately, I've been through some bad seasons, and anytime you go through some bad seasons, you never know is it going to get any better. You come to college football and everybody has hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. When things don't work out, you just sort of get branded as, hey, you're a loser, or you can't get it done. And to see those guys persevere, and I think that's the main thing. They persevered through the season. They persevered through a coaching change, because you never know how coaching changes go. And to be able to, get through that, come back and not only put together, 3 really good seasons, but to be part of really changing the whole, we talked about the culture issue, but they've been here now that the new stadium, all these different things are happening here, and it's really because of them and what they've been able to do in this program, and to really leave a legacy. And then to see them, they all, 3 of the 6-year guys got a picture with the championship trophy, Kevin and Nathan and the other Nathan, and to know they've been here and what they've been through, and be able to see them hoist that joy in their face. That's something when they look at that trophy, that's something that they're going to look back on. Hey, sometimes your Lord takes you through the valleys to get you to the mountain, and they definitely went through some valleys, but for them to persevere and overcome it, it was pretty special for them. And the thing that they'll tell you is they don't want it to end. They know that's what they wanted to accomplish, but they're excited about moving forward and hopefully finishing the conference undefeated, because we've talked about we got the opportunity to be the first undefeated conference team since 2011, and so that's important for us. We don't want to share this thing with anybody.
Thank you a lot, Jamey.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. And, Coach, that's all the questions we have for you this morning. So we'll let you go. But appreciate you joining us. And good luck Saturday.
Thank you, Mark. I will say this. I'm a little disappointed. I don't know what's happened, but Chuck Winchester is not called in now since for about 6 or 8 weeks. I don't know if they fired the guy or what, but I've been disappointed he's not following us. We're going to have to get him back on here.
Well, we'll try to handle that, later today, see what's going on, and hopefully get them back on.
All right, thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Coach.